ample reserve regime is different than a limited reserve regime. The ample reserve implementation regime described above should be reflected in the way the topic is taught in the classroom, with aid from teaching materials. This regime is different than the pre-2009 limited reserve regime. This session highlights key differences in the two regimes, which provide the background for understanding what some textbooks might be out of date. Figure 7. This is figure 7. Figure 7 presents the standard money market diagram under a limited reserve regime, left side. So to the same model under the ample reserve regime, right. The important difference in how the Fed operates in each of these regimes is embedded in this diagram. We also summarize the difference in table 2. So this is figure 7, the graphical comparison of limited and ample reserve framework. The A is limited reserve framework. As you can see, if the reserve is higher, then the supply, the cross between the supply and the demand curve would make the FFR lower. However, in the ample reserve regime, we have even when the reserve is higher, the cross between the demand and the supply curve is actually on the same level of FFR. The below FFR we have overnight reverse repo rate, and above FFR we have the interest on excess reserve rate. The key difference across this diagram is where the supply curve intersects the demand curve. In the limited reserve regime, or left image, the supply curve intersects the demand curve on the downward sloping part of the demand curve. This position implies the Fed supplies a limited amount of reserve to the banking system. That is, it targets a particular supply of reserve so that the market FFR hits the FOMC target. And since relatively small shift of the supply curve to the right or left move the FFR rate higher and lower, respectively, the Fed has to carefully monitor the level of reserve. In the ample reserve regime, or right image, the supply curve intersects the demand curve on the flat portion of the demand curve. In this section, the Fed has chosen to offer a sizable level of reserve to the banking system, and since small shift of the supply curve have little or no effect on the FFR rate, the level does not need to be monitored as closely. This difference in location of the supply curve has important implications for the tools of the Fed uses for interest rate control. To solidify this option, let's consider an expansionary monetary policy action of lowering the policy rate. In the limited reserve regime, the Fed would need to purchase security in the open market. This means the New York Fed trading desk would purchase security from primary dealer and pay for those securities by crediting the reserve account of the bank used by the primary dealer. The banks in turn would credit the dealer's bank's account. This open market purchase results in an increase in reserve balance, which then boosts the money supply. And that shifts the supply curve to the right, resulting in a lower FFR. This series of steps, which are quite abstract, can be difficult for students to follow. In the ample regime as shown in figure 6, the Fed no longer relies on almost as the principal policy tool to target the policy rate in its day-to-day normal operation, because small shift in the supply or reserve have no impact on the FFR by design. Instead, the Fed would lower its administered rates, shifting the bottom of the demand curve down, which induces market rate, including FFR, to move in the same direction and by a similar amount. To be clear, the lowering of the administered rate puts downward pressure to the federal fund rate and other market rates by lowering the incentive to hold reserve at the Fed. The interest rate are adjusting through arbitrage. Conceptually, these actions are less abstract. The Fed lowers the administered rate it controls, which encourages market rates, including the FFR, to follow. A tool that was dropped in the transition from the old toolbox to the new toolbox is reserve requirement. In the limited reserve framework, the Fed used reserve requirement ratio, the fraction of banks' net transaction deposit that needed to be held in very safe, secure asset like reserve, as an important tool for driving demand for bank reserve, keeping the downward sloping portion of the curve somewhat steady. In the ample reserve framework, banks hold excess reserve, making reserve requirement largely non-binding. Effective March 2020, the Federal Reserve announced that it was reducing reserve requirement ratio to zero. In short, reserve requirements are now a non-operational tool. This is table 2. This is a comparison to the limited and ample reserve regime. First, the level of reserve. In limited regime, the level of reserve is limited. Bank manage level in part to meet reserve requirement, while on the ample reserve regime, the level of reserve is ample. Banks tend to have plenty of reserve for all operational needs. The key difference is also on the key policy tool. Limited reserve regime using the open market operation or OMO reserve requirement, while on the ample reserve regime, they have interest on reserve, IOR, is a primary tool, and overnight reverse repo facility is supplemental tool. On the reserve requirement, in the limited regime, reserve requirement are one factor that cause bank to demand reserve. Banks pay attention to the level of reserve relative to their reserve requirement. Banks that are short or long of their requirement can turn to the federal fund market to borrow or lend fund. However, in the ample reserve regime, because of a high level of reserve in the banking system, most banks hold excess reserve, and so reserve requirements are not significant factor in their decision making. As of March 2020, reserve requirement ratio were set to zero. The next one is supporting policy tool. The supporting policy tool for limited regime is discount window, while for the ample reserve regime is none other than open market operation and discount window. Graphing, where supply intersect demand. In the limited reserve regime, supply intersect demand are steep downward sloping part of the demand curve, while on the ample reserve regime, supply intersect demand are flat part of the demand curve. Graphing, change in policy rate. The Fed affects the FFR by using OMOs to shift the supply curve left or right. That's in the limited reserve regime. Meanwhile, on the ample reserve regime, the Fed affects the FFR by raising or lowering the IOR and overnight reverse repo rate to shift the flat portion of the demand curve up or down. Example key tools action to implement expansionary monetary policy. In the limited reserve regime, FOMC lowers the FFR target. Fed purchase US Treasury securities using open market operation to increase the supply of reserve. However, on the ample reserve regime, FOMC lowers the FFR target range. The Fed lowers its administered rate. Note that we are refocusing this book on the limited reserve regime that the Fed had in place prior to 2008, as this is the focus of textbook discussion of limited reserve regime. If the Fed chooses to implement policy in a limited reserve regime from now on, IOR and the overnight reverse repo facility would be available tools. However, in 2019, the Fed stated that it intends to implement policy using an ample reserve regime in the longer run.